This session of the Supreme Court will hear its first major case on abortion rights. It involves a Mississippi law that bans most abortions after 15 weeks. Now, this case is viewed as the first step in challenging Roe v. Wade. Lauren McCoy has the details.
The Supreme Court agreed on Monday to address a major abortion case in its next term, which starts in October. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki commenting about women's rights after the news broke.
Over the last 4 years, critical rights, like the right to health care, the right to choose, have been under withering and extreme attack, including through draconian state laws. And the president and the vice president are devoted to ensuring that every American has access to health care, including...
Jen Psaki there. Here to discuss more on the potential ramifications is our legal expert. Candace Kelley joins us this morning. So, Candace, look, here we go. We kind of knew this was going to happen when Donald Trump appointed 3 Supreme Court justices, 2 very heavy pro-life. But the Supreme Court has been mulling over whether to take this case for the last 8 months. Why did it take so long, Candace?
You know, when the Supreme Court chooses to hear a case, there have to be 4 of the justices that actually agree to listen to it. And it was just the advocacy groups. It was the pushing. It was the cases that they kept being approached with where they finally said yes. And as was mentioned in the report by Lauren, listen, the court has completely changed in terms of now 6 conservatives and 3 more liberals, and 3 of those conservatives that have been appointed by Trump. It's going to be a big deal. It is a big deal. And it's something that a lot of people have been waiting on. And we can't believe that it's finally here, just people who have been looking and studying the Supreme Court.
Yeah, Mississippi, in their case, they're saying they're not asking the court to overturn Roe v. Wade. But tell us why it's setting the stage to do just that.
Well, it really is. And you're right. We're not talking about a full overturn. As it stands now, a woman has the right to make a decision about her body within about 23 to 24 weeks. Will she have an abortion or will she not? What Mississippi has done and what this case is presenting is that now in the state of Mississippi, they've said you only have 15 weeks in order to make that decision. So we're talking about when is a fetus actually viable inside and outside of the womb, because that's why Mississippi has made this decision. So it is a big deal, and that there's less time for the woman. And then there's this whole question of when does a person even form, and when is it viable outside of the womb? And those are the real stickler points of this particular law that's on the table.
Yeah, that's the whole thing right there. How do they determine when a fetus is viable? How does it work? Just break it down for us for the Supreme Court, because a lot of people don't know when it comes to Supreme Court. Is it about bringing in witnesses, experts, testimony, or is it just briefs that the justices themselves kind of examine and then make a decision?
You know, the process of the Supreme Court is very interesting. So the fact that you would mention witnesses and that whole thing and then briefs is what we should get into. When you go in front of the Supreme Court, you actually have 30 minutes to argue your case. That's it. It is basically briefs. When you get in front of there, you have made your argument in the brief as to who is a fetus, who is not a fetus, who's viable, who is not viable outside of the womb. So inside of 30 minutes, they're going to determine, all right, who is a human, who isn't. And at this point, we're not even going to hear about it from maybe for a year from now. They're going to take up the case in October. So while we have about a year, we're still, you know, as you said, we're going to look at the briefs, the specificity of it, and that's what the attorneys will be arguing when they get in front of it. And we don't know what they're going to decide, right? Because the attorneys, they're going to have to make their case.
Yeah, the attorneys are going to make their case, but now it's interesting because once again, Trump had 3 appointees, and you mentioned it's 6-3 now in favor of a more conservative court. 3 Trump appointees, 2 very pro-life, Amy Coney Barrett and Brett Kavanaugh now on the Supreme Court, very once again pro-life. So even with the arguments that are being made by the attorneys in this case, and you said they get 30 minutes to make these arguments. How does Roe v. Wade survive, or how does this survive? How do they not overturn what Mississippi is trying to do, setting up the stage to overturn Roe v. Wade?
Mike, it's going to be very difficult, and let me tell you why. Even though the justices, and all of them, during their confirmation hearings, were asked specifically about Roe v. Wade, and I'm talking about the three most recent appointees, even back to John Roberts, they were asked specifically about Roe v. Wade, and they said, listen, this is longstanding precedent. It is law. They didn't say necessarily whether they decide against it or not. Amy Coney Barrett specifically has called a fetus a victim in the past. But then again, we have Chief Justice John Roberts, who actually voted against a similar Louisiana bill. So we actually don't know what way John Roberts will go. He could possibly be the swing vote in this. But as for now, all eyes are on Amy Coney Barrett because she is the last person to be appointed. And this is the first time that she's going to make a decision on an abortion case. So a lot to come because we do not know where she's going to go on this because we haven't heard from her before.
Well, yeah, a lot of people can kind of guess where she's going to go from what she said in the past too. All right, so here's the thing: they're taking a look at the Mississippi case. If the Mississippi case passes, what's that mean for other states? I mean, because states like California will probably keep their own state law, but other states already have trigger laws in effect if something like this passes, right?
They absolutely do. There are several states that have similar laws. This is the one that's gone all the way up to the Supreme Court. Look, we're looking at states that have one abortion clinic in the whole state. Protesters outside as people walk into the clinic. So what this means is that it gives them the validation, it gives them the precedent to go on and say, listen, the Supreme Court is behind us, and just kind of get other people to get around it and make the same decision that Mississippi has made. So once we see this go and the Supreme Court has spoken, we're going to see more of this if this happens. And what does that mean? That means more women who are vulnerable, more women who will lose their lives, more women in alleys, right? And we know what happens in those alleys when they make those decisions and don't have access to health care.
Yeah, once again, archaic. We'll see what happens there. Candace, Kelley, as always, thank you very much. Today is the anniversary of another historic Supreme Court decision. You will be back with us in our 9 o'clock hour, and we will tell you all about that. And then Sharon will join us then as well. Thank you, Candace.
All right. See you then.